Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be breaking down the new main event for UFC 249, and that main event is Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight title. So, without further ado, let's get to this breakdown. So, first I'm going to look at the stats, and then I'm going to look deeper than the stats. So, let's start with their wins and losses. So, Tony Ferguson's record stands at 26-3. Justin Gaethje's record stands at 21-2. Both men have had championship experience, and both men have been very successful at the highest level, with suffering very few losses. Average fight time, 10 minutes and 4 seconds for Ferguson. Justin Gaethje, 7 minutes and 56 seconds. And Gaethje's average fight time is pretty low, and that's because he's going out there to be killed or kill or be killed. And even despite that, it's still kind of high. Like, if the guy's getting all finishes for it still to be 7:56. It's kind of later in the fight, so. But then again, he's more of a breakdown type of knockout artist. But then again, in his most recent fights, they all been first round knockouts. So he's definitely changing. He's definitely evolving his game. Height, both men are 5'11", virtually identical as far as height. Maybe a little bit of a centimeter here or something. But both men are roughly 5'11". So height, not really no advantage for neither guy. Weight, this is a weight class fight. This is 155. This is not heavyweight. This is not super heavyweight. This is not an open match. So both guys will be 155 or roughly around 155. I think Gaethje's the larger man though, but that's not on the stat sheet. Reach, 76-inch reach for Ferguson, and Gaethje has a 70-inch reach. So a 6-inch reach advantage for Ferguson, and how he fights and how much output he throws out there, that could definitely be a big factor in how his arsenal, kicks, punches, elbows, output. That definitely could be a big factor. I think Ferguson definitely can use that. That's a huge advantage for Ferguson. 6 inches of reach, that's dangerous. And also that sometimes reach can be used against you if you throw these shots out there and you can't bring them back. Somebody can counter you. So that's definitely a factor, but it's still more in Ferguson's favor to have that reach advantage. Stance, they're both orthodox, so no southpaw. The only confusion in this fight will be how confusing Ferguson is. Like the confusion that Ferguson brings out there. Age, Ferguson is 36 and Gaethje is 31, so a 5-inch youth advantage for Gaethje. So Gaethje will be 5 years younger than Ferguson. I think really he's only 4 years younger, but his birthday is in November and Ferguson's birthday is in February. So Ferguson has already turned 36, whereas Gaethje has yet to turn 32. So going into this fight, there will be a 5-year age advantage or 5-year youth advantage for Gaethje. That might play a factor. So Ferguson's kind of just outside that prime for a fighter. That's 36. I think was it like 30 to 35, kind of like a fighter's prime, by 30, 34, 33. Like that early 30s period is like kind of like the prime for fighters nowadays. When maybe they're not in their physical prime, but they're as far as technique and their technical prime, experience prime, and also still not being that old where their body has broken down so much that they can't really use their skills or they become so vulnerable. Like they're still really in shape, took care of themselves, and now their skills are really starting to come together, their experience coming together, and they just really blossoming as a fighter. So it's not the physical prime, but it is their fighting prime. Strikes landed per minute, 5.81 for Ferguson, 8.57 for Gaethje. Gaethje, the reason why Gaethje has a good bit of more strikes landed per minute than Ferguson, despite how high Ferguson's output is because Gaethje has only had 6 fights in the UFC, and Ferguson has like 20 plus fights in the UFC, whereas Gaethje has only like 6, and 3 of them have been wars. So that's a factor. That's a reason behind that. Striking accuracy, 45% for Ferguson, but Ferguson goes out there. He's not really worried about being so accurate. He's worried about going out there, letting his hands go, and making you feel his intensity, making you feel his power. Feeling his strikes and feeling like you're in danger the whole time out there. He's gonna be out in your face the whole time, not worried about being accurate per se, but been out there that he knows that he's gonna land and he's gonna put out a high strike rate. And still, that's a pretty high accuracy for how Ferguson fights. And then strike accuracy on Gaethje's side, 55%, kind of surprising, but then again, his most recent fights can certainly have affected that average. I think at first he was kind of throwing blind, but now he's actually sitting down and setting up his strikes. So that definitely has helped his striking accuracy to go up to 55%. Now let's look at strikes absorbed per minute. Ferguson has a 3.75 strikes absorbed per minute, whereas Gaethje has a 9.67 strikes absorbed per minute. So those earlier fights are still factoring in. He has absorbed more shots than he has put out. So he's been taking more shots than he's been given or been giving. But his last 3 fights have definitely changed that. He's been getting people out of there in the first round. Definitely hasn't been taking even half the amount of damage he took in the past, or as far as these last 3 fights. So he's definitely been working on that. Defense, Ferguson has a 63% defense, and Gaethje has a 54% defense. And now in the last stats we have is grappling, but I'm not gonna worry too much about grappling. Even though Ferguson is a wrestler, he really hasn't been a wrestler as far as the MMA game. He kind of goes for front headlocks. He more so strikes, or he goes for rolling leg locks. So he's really been more jiu-jitsu than wrestling. Yeah, the snap downs can come from wrestling, but he's not a guy that's going to go down there and hit you with a blast double or a single leg or try to scoop you up or nothing like that. He's not that type of scoop you up and take you down and sniff your butthole wrestler. He's been doing more work off his back than he's done off the top. So unless it's like a front headlock or something. Outside of that, most of his work has been done off the bottom. So as far as Ferguson, I don't think he'll have the best chance with that against Gaethje unless he's able to hurt Gaethje first. As far as Gaethje being the more credentialed wrestler and wrestling at a higher level and having more accomplishments as far as wrestling, Gaethje doesn't really wrestle either too much. He might wrestle as a defense at times or wrestle just to throw it out there. But against Ferguson, he's not going to really want to be on top of Ferguson. I think he's going to be more at risk trying to take Ferguson down. And even if he secures takedowns, he's going to be more at risk on top of Ferguson than he is just standing. So he might mix it in there, but he's not going to be there for long. So I don't see it as a big factor until one of them gets hurt. And even if Ferguson is hurt, I don't think Gaethje wants to be on the ground with Ferguson unless he really just has him out, like just looking at the lights and he just puts him out. Like he just has him already rocked and can't not even know where he at. And he throws 2 more punches to put him out. But other than that, Gaethje will likely avoid any long period or anything over a second on the ground with Ferguson. Maybe a split takedown, then stand back up, or land 2 punches, then stand back up. But other than that, he's not going to really want to be on the ground with Ferguson. So grappling, I don't see as that big of a factor, or not a big a factor until later on in the fight when maybe the striking has set something up for either fighter to do something on the ground. But before that, I don't really see too much significance in the grappling. So now let's look deeper than the stats. Let's get to the breakdown and look at how each guy are paths to victory. So let's look at Ferguson. I'm going to break him down and I'm going to give his path to victory. Then I'm going to look at Gaethje, break him down and give his path to victory. So Ferguson, what really stands out for Ferguson, what really his strengths are, it's not that he's the most technical striker, he's not the most pretty, he's not the most athletic, he's not the most physically imposing fighter. He's really not any of those things. He doesn't look imposing, he's not that strong, he's not that athletic, he's not that technical. But when he comes out there, he goes out there to fight. He's fearless despite being like 36, despite being a veteran, despite having so many fights. Matter of fact, he became more fearless as his career went on, as he trained so hard, and like that training and how hard he trained gave him the confidence to fight fearless as he does now. So he's not no young fighter, but he kind of fights like a young fighter. But the difference is that he's not like a young fighter. He has experience and he knows what he's doing out there. And he's not just going out there just doing stuff and just thinking it's landing or just so high on himself that he's just throwing a bunch of strikes out there and not really knowing what he's doing and just hoping that's going to land because it's his destiny to be the greatest or something. He's going out there because he has experience, and it may be wild, it may be unorthodox, and it definitely won't land every single time or at that high of an accuracy, but he knows what he's doing is all setting up his victory. He's going out there doing a lot of shots. He's not landing at the highest clip or the highest accuracy, but the fact that he's putting output out there means he's freezing his opponents up. If he is able to make his opponents lock up and just keep throwing output out there, then who cares if he's that accurate or not? Because if his opponent's not throwing strikes and he's throwing strikes, he's winning. And if he keeps, and he has that high, he's trained so hard that his cardio is phenomenal. So he can afford to throw out high output. He can afford to miss. But the fact that he's pushing his opponents back and they're not really being able to fire because he's in their face the whole time, that makes him very dangerous. And also, he has a high arsenal of strikes. He has a big toolkit. He can throw elbows, he can throw knees, he can throw kicks, he can throw teeps, he can throw leg kicks, elbows. And then he also mixes in the submissions well with his arsenal. Like, he has the right hand that can make you, like, he has a good right hand, he has a good jab. He can make you drop your head worrying about a right hand or overhand or a right elbow, and then you fall right into his snap jitsu. So he blends his skills together very well. And he's working the whole time, so that drains fighters. So that's really where Ferguson thrives, and his skills blend together well. It's unorthodox, but they blend together very well. Also, when he dips, he can make you wear it, like try to drop your hands. He go to the body and then come up top with spin elbow. So he has a lot of different stuff that he works very well. and it all works well together. And he knows, I don't think a lot of times he doesn't even know what he's drawing next. So if he doesn't know what he's drawing, you don't know what he's drawing. But he has trained all this unorthodox stuff, so that's not like it's so sloppy. It's weird, orthodox, but it's not completely sloppy. So it's very effective out there at really throwing people off their game, and then put them in bad positions, which he eventually finishes you from, or just breaks you down mentally, physically, emotionally. Just out there, just having a guy that's constantly in your face and constantly making you work and constantly threatening you. You got to worry about so many threats nonstop at a high pace. That's very dangerous. So how I see Ferguson winning this fight? Just Ben Ferguson, really. But I think the real X factor in this fight for Ferguson is to go to the body. Gaethje has a solid chin. He has power in his hands. You got to worry about it. So you try to go to the chin too much, he can definitely counter. He'll definitely take one to give one if necessary. And I think his chin is much better than Ferguson's. They both have solid heart. I wouldn't say either man has a bigger heart than the other, but Gaethje definitely has a harder chin. So if he just goes for headshots and elbows to the chin, I think Gaethje will definitely welcome that and take a shot to give a shot, and I think he'll win that fight. So for Ferguson to really win, I think he has to go to the body. Go with body shots. Go with knees. Try to get in the clinch and land some knees to the body. Teeps the body. Mixes the body very well. Push Gaethje back. And then in the later rounds, start to really attack the head. Once he starts to look for the body shots or start to defend the body shots or try to, react to the body shots, then his hands will drop, and then the right hand will be there. Then the right elbow will be there. And once you start to land those, or if you start landing the body shots, then Gaethje started to fold over like he did in the Eddie Alvarez fight, which he got caught by the knee later on to finish the fight. That will help Ferguson get to his best position, like that front headlock. So then he can land knees to the face, knees to the chest, snap him down and try to go for some submissions. Especially when he's hurt. Like when you have him hurt, it'll be easier to snap him down. When he's fresh or when he's not really affected the body, or if he isn't really affected by it, I don't think Gaethje's snap down will have, I don't think Ferguson's snap down will have any real success. But if he's able to hurt him to the body, then I think that snap down will be there. That clinch will be there. Those elbows will be there. And then Ferguson's game will be able to work. So really Ferguson go out there, be himself, but put an emphasis on body shots. And an emphasis on the long fight. Not trying to go out there for the finish or go out for submission or nothing like that early. Go for the body. Go for the gas tank. Especially with Gaethje coming in on short notice. Go for that gas tank. It has been proven that that's a weakness for Gaethje. He has a solid chin, but you really can't train your body's not really as hard as your chin, or it doesn't really. No matter how really hard you train, body shots are always going to be a factor. And for somebody that has a chin, people that have solid chins usually have softer bodies, or at least aren't as good at reacting to or defending or taking body shots as they are to the chin. So go to that body. That's Ferguson's path to victory. Go to the body, wear him down over the course of the fight, then go for the kill late. That's Ferguson's path to victory. That will set up everything, whether it be a striking finish, a decision, or a submission finish, especially if it's a submission finish, because then that will allow him to get that snap down and go for the submissions or go for the clinch, etc., etc. That's Ferguson's path to victory. Now, on to Gaethje's path to victory. Or, Gaethje breaking Gaethje down and his path to victory. So, what the strength of Gaethje is that he has power. He has a solid chin. He has phenomenal heart. He's a fighter that, I wouldn't say his cardio is so phenomenal, but his will is phenomenal. His cardio is good, his condition is good, but if you go to his body, that definitely can wear down some of that. But if you don't go to his body, he can fight you all night long. He'll push the pace. He'll be in your face till you go out. He'll be there, kill or be killed the whole time. Not necessarily his work rate will drop, because he's not, like I say, unlike Ferguson, he's not really a pure cardio fighter. He does have heart. He does train hard. He does have good cardio. But he's not that guy that's going to be pushing that same output the whole time or getting stronger as the fight goes on as far as cardio, unless you start to break down. Like, he's not a Mighty Mouse. He's not a Blake Guida. He's not a Ferguson. He's not a Cain Velasquez. He's not these guys that's going to be on you the same rate the whole fight. His rate will drop, but he'll make sure yours drop as well. Probably lower than him. Like when he start to have you rock, start to scramble your brains a little bit, he'll be tired, but you'll be worse than he is. That's what he's looking to do out there. He's looking to run into you as many times as he needs to break you down, and he's looking to have you worse for wear than he is. But definitely over these last couple fights, these last 3 fights, he's been looking for shots. He's not out there giving one shot to take a shot. He's out there setting up shots. He's out there pulling, countering. He's out there finding angles, catching right hooks. He's out there setting shots. He's out there mixing high and low and actually really setting his shots up this time. He's not out there like he was in the World Series of Fighting or early on in the UFC when he was out there just kill me or I'll kill you. He's been killed twice and he's learned. So, yeah, so like again, what Gaethje brings, he brings chin, he brings heart, he brings power in that right hand, he brings good low kicks, and he has that heart, he has that kill factor in him. And despite him losing twice, and I said his style changing, he still is that killer. He just got smarter. He's a smarter killer than he was before. It's not that he became some tactician. He's just a killer that learned a lesson, and he's showing that. So Gaethje's path to victory. So this one could be kind of short for Gaethje. It's really all about putting Ferguson out there. Yes, he can possibly win a decision, but for Gaethje, I think his best path to victory is to put Ferguson lights out, put him out of commission, knock him out. That's really his best path to victory. He can win a decision, but his best path to victory is to hurt Ferguson and hurt him often or put him out of there. And I think he has a very good tool to put Ferguson out there. First, like I said, Ferguson goes out there, he does a lot of strikes, but his striking isn't the cleanest. He's been dropped several times. He's been dropped with a right hook by Anthony Pettis, who really doesn't have the most power in his hands. He's been dropped by Pettis. He's been dropped by Kevin Lee, who obviously isn't the best striker. Right hand, right hook. And what is one of Gaethje's best shots, especially later, right, in these past 3 fights, it's been a right hook. And what has been, Ferguson been dropped by right hooks. And he's been dropped by people that don't have the most power, like Kevin Lee, not the most power, not really even a striker, really a wrestler. Anthony Pettis, really a kicker, right hand. And now you're going against a guy that has some real heavy hands with a solid right hand, and Gaethje has that. And he's been more good at countering now with it, more good at setting up, good with overhand. He can mix it up. So when Ferguson comes in with these long combinations, especially running in, and a lot of times what Ferguson does, no matter what he throws, his chin flies up. He throws a straight, his chin flies up. He throws a jab, his chin flies up. He throws a hook, his chin flies up. That's why he gets dropped. He can recover very well. He gets rocked and he'll roll. But if Gaethje can keep landing there and not really try to, get too happy over rocking Ferguson, I don't think he'll get happy because that's how Gaethje fights. He's not going to be one of the guys to get happy and burn himself out. He don't be out there, he going to hurt you, he going to keep hurting. He's not going to go out there and be happy and try to go for a finish and then burn himself out. He's going to keep coming. If he catches Ferguson, he's going to catch him again. And catch him again unless Ferguson fixes that flaw. He's not going to go out there and burn himself out. He's going to catch him until Ferguson light is out. So when Ferguson comes in with all these long combinations, catch him with that right hook. Because his chin going to be up, he's going to be square, catch him with a right hook. When Ferguson throw these uppercuts, catch him with a right hook. When Ferguson kind of throw these teep kicks out there, catch him with a right overhand. So the opportunity over there is there for Gaethje to land that right hand often if Ferguson doesn't mix it up very well and doesn't disguise it very well. So that right hand will be there, the opportunity will be there, and Gaethje has the skill and the power to land it and to put Ferguson lights out. And also the X factor for Gaethje in this fight, like I did with Ferguson. Like I said, Ferguson was the body shot. The X factor in this fight, like I said, I was saying right hand a lot, but really the X factor that's really not there or really been said, but is there and probably could sneak in there and be a good factor for Gaethje is the leg kicks. We all know he has good leg kicks. And we know Ferguson has injured his leg. So attack that leg that he injured. That's X factor. Even if the leg wasn't injured, attacking the leg will throw off the output of Ferguson. That would decrease his output of striking. And that will make even his already unorthodox and already kind of loosey-goosey striking more telegraphed. So if he's going out there doing these wild strikes and you're attacking his wheels, he'll start to stumble. His knees start to buckle when he's throwing these weird strikes. It'll make him slow and make him a little bit more hesitant. And he's already open for shots. So if he's any bit more timid or any bit more hesitant or any bit buckling or anything is off about that strike any more than it is, he'll be very vulnerable to get countered. So attack that leg. We start coming on these wild combinations. Kick the leg up. Kick the leg out. I'll catch him with right hooks. So you'll have the right hook. You have the leg kick counters when he's coming on these long exchanges. And if you mix those in together very well, you'll have a fighter that's coming in with these sloppy strikes, kind of falling, kind of buckling a little bit, and then he'll be even more susceptible to these right hands to catch and put out. And also when if he has weak legs, that'll make him more susceptible to getting dropped, and that will factor in for you. And that will factor in him not being stable enough to really to take these strikes as well as he can. So if his legs wobbly, it'll make him get dropped easier, make him be more susceptible to get caught, it'll make him be more susceptible to get put out. So Gaethje, right hands, be good with the counter, and also not just be on the back foot, pressure Ferguson. Ferguson likes to be pressing back, counter him hard, make him have to back up, back pedal. I want to say just go at him the whole time, but definitely mix it in because I think he could play back and forward with Ferguson. Kind of fight him like how he fought Cerrone. They're not the same fighter for sure, but they kind of have similar flaws out there, and I think Gaethje can take advantage of that. Kind of similar, like he's forward and back. Forward to catch up with these big overhands and these these big like tapping and right hooks. And then when he allow him to press forward, like draw him out to press forward, and then catch him with counter right hooks, and then mixing low kicks. And like I said, if he can mix those together well, he can put Ferguson out. And I think he would do it in the 4th round if he would do that way. But yeah. So as far as Gaethje, it's the right hooks and the low kicks. That's his path to victory. As far as Ferguson, his path to victory is attacking, putting an emphasis on the body shot and being himself. So be yourself, but add an emphasis on the body shots. Be versatile there, and don't be predictable. And that's Ferguson's path to victory. So that's my breakdown for this fight. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.